How to Steal a Million has been on my list for quite a while, and I was finally in the mood for another Audrey Hepburn film, and I decided to watch this, and it was good. It was really good. I will say there's a bit, maybe 2/3 in, where it just kind of began to drag and got really slow. But then it picks up again, and it is a lot of fun. This was released in 1966, directed by William Wyler, written by Harry Kurnitz and George Bradshaw, and stars, of course, Audrey Hepburn alongside Peter O'Toole. Pretty great pairing there, and I have to say Audrey Hepburn is fantastic in this, as I knew she would be. So the description from IMDb is as follows. The daughter of an art forger teams up with a burglar to steal one of her father's forgeries and protect his secret. It sounds elaborate. It's a lot more straightforward than that. It is what it sounds like. Audrey Hepburn plays Nicole Bonnet, which is spelled Bonnet, and her father, Charles Bonnet, played by Hugh Griffith, is an art forger, and a really good one at that. And when Simon, played by Peter O'Toole, comes along and tries to steal something, they decide to team up and steal one of the forgeries. But there's actually a good reason. It sounds like they're trying to do that to wrong her father, but actually that's not the case. But I'm not going to say any more than that. I feel like I've already said too much just by reading that description. A lot of the forgeries are Van Goghs, and it was really lovely to see. I didn't really recognise too many of the paintings, so I'm not sure how much of them were actually based on real paintings or not. I assume most of them. But if you know otherwise, of course, do let me know. But I have to say the narrative develops really well, particularly in the beginning, and then kind of in the final third of the film. The first and the final thirds are really good and really enjoyable. As I said, I feel like the middle third gets quite slow and just doesn't really progress as quick as I perhaps would have liked it to. But then the action picks up again and things go quite smoothly. In terms of it being a comedy, because it is a comedy crime film, I'd say it's quite funny. Absolutely not something that made me laugh out loud, but it was warm and comforting, and for that reason I liked it. Hepburn was really good. I have to say, in terms of her outfits and things, it's not as striking as a lot of her films. I know that sounds like a really vain thing to focus on, but I just wanted to make the point, because I know a lot of people watch Hepburn films just because of the visual beauty of a lot of her costumes. This is not a film for that. This is a film for a pretty fun narrative and some really good acting, which is really what her films should be watched for, but we know that that is unfortunately not always the case. I'm glad I watched this film next. I don't know which Hepburn film I'm going to see next. I've seen maybe 7 or 8 of them. So I think I still have quite a bit of her back catalogue to go. So if you can recommend any specifically, feel free to suggest your favourites. This one will never be my favourite, but I didn't think it would. Having said that, she's done some brilliant... I think The Nun Story is probably going to be my favourite of hers for quite a while. I don't know, there were a lot of strong contenders. If you have a favourite, let me know, and if I haven't seen it, I'll see if I can find it. If you know where to watch it, Prime, Netflix, whatever, do let me know. But How to Steal a Million is good fun. It's a pretty well thought out narrative, pretty well executed apart from that slow bit. There are some good moments, particularly involving a scream, and just the reaction of the extras was absolutely brilliant. You'll know exactly what I mean if you see it. As a fan of art, that was an aspect that I liked. It was quite surprising. It wasn't 100% predictable, which I wasn't expecting. Ultimately, although it's not my favourite of her films, it's still pretty darn good.